Welcome to UMW Theatre and our live stream performance of Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing. When we left campus on March 12th, our students, faculty, and staff stepped away from Much Ado and the work that had been a part of their lives for many months. We turned out the lights to the costume shop and covered the sewing machines. We put away our brushes and paint. We powered down the scene shop, covered the sound console, and stopped cabling and patching the lighting instruments. We placed a ghost light on stage to safeguard our beloved theater and illuminate the unfinished set. We locked the doors to Klein Theater and left our beautiful campus. 9 students are pursuing senior projects focused on Much Ado. Actors Mitch Coomer, Jess Elkins, Maddie Petrosky, and Yvonne Kuroga. Scenic designer Eric Biscana. Charge artist Carly Bishop. Sound designer Javon Jones. Scenic carpenter Ashley DiBenedetto, and house manager Anna Hughes. Additionally, the company of Much Ado includes 18 students in the cast, 6 taking the stage for the last time before graduating, and 5 who are just beginning their acting careers with UMW Theatre. 4 students on the stage management staff, 1 student serving as the assistant to the director, 3 students serving as choreographer, music director, and fight choreographer, and 58 students in practicum assignments supporting the production. And that's why we are here tonight. We celebrate our students tonight with a live stream performance of Much Ado About Nothing, not in Klein Theater, but from our homes all across Virginia and neighboring states. We celebrate reclaiming our ritual of rehearsal and performance, inspiring acts that are at the center of who we are. We celebrate Marilyn Wojak, our costume shop supervisor, whose work on Much Ado is her last before retiring after 13 years of bringing her exquisite artistry to the clothes our characters wear on our stage. And we celebrate Helen Housley, who retires this year after 20 years of teaching in our classrooms, directing in our theaters, and mentoring thousands of students in her career at UMW. And we celebrate you for being with us as we bring Much Ado About Nothing to life. Before we begin, we want to share with you the work we left behind. This is the Much Ado About Nothing that cannot be live streamed. This is the work of our students, faculty, and staff, still in Klein Theater, awaiting our return. We wouldn't be here tonight without the extraordinary support of UMW. Troy Pano, our president, Nina Mikalevsky, our provost, Keith Melanier, our dean, Cartlin Berge, and Jerry Slezak from Digital Learning Support, all who have been unwavering in their commitment to UMW Theatre. Tonight is a testament to the energy and devotion of the faculty, staff, and students in the Department of Theater and Dance who have worked tirelessly to move this production forward. We are grateful as well to our many loyal patrons and generous donors who play a significant role in our work with students. We are overjoyed to have 1,497 people joining us tonight from 37 states, Puerto Rico, the District of Columbia, and 5 different countries. In a world of so much uncertainty, we have found comfort these past several weeks in doing what we do, delving into text, creating theater, and tonight, sharing our work with an audience. I want to welcome Professor of Theater and the Director of Much Ado About Nothing, Helen Housley.
Thanks, Greg. Welcome to William Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing. Much Ado is my favorite Shakespearean comedy, primarily because of Beatrice and Benedick, that most witty and equal set of lovers in all of Shakespeare. I wanted to somewhat contemporize our production, so we set it in 1953. Because it was post-World War II, I was very influenced by the silhouette of women's dresses in that period. And I had fond memories of those 1950s romantic films, such as Roman Holiday and Three Coins in the Fountain. That provided inspiration for what would have been our setting and costumes. I also envisioned the song That's Amore, That's Love, written in 1953 as the musical theme of our production. The scenes you will be seeing tonight were selected for 2 reasons. First, they tell the story particularly well. And second, they feature each of our 18 actors. And speaking of our actors, let me introduce them. Mitch Coomer as Leonato, governor of Messina.
Hi,
Mitch,
I'm a
are you
senior
there?
theater major, and I'm in my basement.
Batty Petrosco,
Hi, I'm a senior
Petrosky
theater
as
major.
Hero, his daughter. I think we're having technical difficulties.
I'm a senior theater major.
Okay, let's try this again. Hannah Chester as Beatrice, his niece.
Hi, I hope you can hear me. I am a freshman theater and communications double major, and I am in my bedroom. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Thanks. Rachel Williamson as Antonia, his sister.
Hi, I'm a senior theater major, and I am in my dining room.
Jess Elkins as Margaret, Hero's companion.
Hi, I'm a senior theater major and I'm in my bedroom.
Megan Deneen as Ursula, another of Hero's companions.
Hi, I'm a junior theater major and I am in my bedroom.
Ethan Pearson as Don Pedro, Prince of Aragon.
Hi, I am a sophomore theater and computer science double major, and I am in my family room.
Matthew Monahan as Count Claudio, an officer in the Prince's Army.
Hello, I am a freshman theater major and I'm coming to you live from my office.
Jackson Miles as Senior Benedick, a soldier in the Prince's Army.
Hello, I am also a senior theater major who is in his bedroom.
Nathan Marshak as Balthazar, another soldier in the Prince's Army.
Hello, I'm a sophomore theater major and I am here in my bedroom.
Anson Stevie as Don John, Don Pedro's bastard brother.
Hi, I'm a sophomore theater major and I'm here in my garage.
Tommy Kelleher as Baraccio, Don John's follower.
Hi, I'm a junior theater major and I'm in my bedroom.
Yvonne Quiroga as Conrad, another of Don John's followers.
Hi, I'm a pre-law theater double major and I'm in my living room.
William Pineda as Dogberry, Master Constable of Messina.
Hello, I am a junior theater major and I am in a closet.
Oscar Leon as Verges, Dogberry's lieutenant.
Hello, everybody. I am a sophomore theater major, and I am in my dining room.
Mina Solars as Georgia Seacole, leader of the watch.
Hi, I'm a sophomore theater major, and I am in my bedroom.
Genesis Simmons as Hannah Oatcake, a member of the watch.
Hey, I'm a freshman theater major, and I'm in the bedroom.
And Sean McBride as Friar Francis.
I am a junior theater major coming to you live from my bedroom.
So, without further ado, sit back, relax, and enjoy our performance of Much Ado About Nothing.
The year is 1953, and the place is the Italian province of Messina in northern Sicily. Messina's governor, Leonato, resides in his villa with his sister, Antonia, daughter, Hero, niece, Beatrice, and Hero's companions, Margaret and Ursula. The recent civil war between Don Pedro, Prince of Aragon, and his bastard brother, Don John, has resulted in Don Pedro's victory. During the strife, Don Pedro and his army frequently came to Messina for R&R. Don Pedro's soldier, Balthazar, delivers a letter to Leonato. The play begins. I learn in this letter that Don Pedro of Aragon comes this night to Messina.
He is very near by this. He was not 3 leagues off when I left him.
How many gentlemen have you lost in this action?
But few of any sort, and none of name.
A victory is twice itself when the achiever brings home full numbers. I find here that Don Pedro hath bestowed much honor upon a young Florentine called Claudio.
Much deserved on his part, and equally remembered by Don Pedro. He hath borne himself beyond the promise of his age, doing in the figure of a lamb the feats of a lion. He hath indeed bettered expectations than you must expect of me to tell you how.
He hath an uncle here in Messina that will be very much glad of it.
I pray you, is Signor Mountanto returned from the wars or no?
I know none of that name, lady. There was none such in the army of any sort.
What is he that you ask for, niece?
My cousin means Signor Benedict of
Ah, he's returned, and as pleasant as ever he was.
He set up his bills here in Messina and challenged Cupid at the flight. But I pray you, how many hath he killed and eaten in these wars? But how many hath he killed? For indeed I promise to eat all of his killings.
Faith, niece, you tax Signor Benedict too much. But he'll be meet with you, I doubt it not.
He hath done good service, lady, in these wars.
You had a musty victual, and he hath hopped to eat it. He is a very valiant trencherman. He hath an excellent stomach.
And a good soldier too, lady.
And a good soldier too, a lady, but what is he to a lord?
A lord to a lord, a man to a man, stuffed with all honorable virtues.
It is so indeed. He is no less than a stuffed man. But for the stuffing, well, we are all mortal.
You must not, sir, mistake my niece. There is a kind of merry war betwixt Signor Benedict and her. They never meet, but there's a skirmish of wit between them.
Alas, he gets nothing by that. In our last conflict, 4 of his 5 wits went halting off, and now is the whole man governed with 1. So if he have wit enough to keep himself warm, let him bear it for the difference between himself and his horse. But who is his companion? He hath every month a new sworn brother.
Is't possible?
Very easily possible. He wears his faith, but as the fashion of his hat. It ever changes with the next block.
I see, lady, the gentleman is not in your books.
No, and he were, I would burn my study. But who is his companion now? Is there no young squarer who will make a voyage with him to the devil?
He is most in the company of the right noble Claudio.
Oh, Lord, he will hang upon him like a disease. He is sooner caught than the pestilence, and the taker runs presently mad. Lord, help the noble Claudio, if he have caught the Benedict. It shall cost him 1,000 lira ere he be cured.
I will hold friends with you, lady.
Do, good friend.
You will never run mad, niece.
No, not till a hot January.
Don Pedro is approached.
Good Signor Leonato, are you come to meet your trouble? The fashion of the world is to avoid costs, and you encounter it.
Never came trouble to my house in the likeness of your grace. For trouble being gone, comfort should remain. But when you depart from me, sorrow abides, and happiness takes his leave.
You embrace your charge too willingly. I think this is your daughter.
Her mother hath many times told me so.
Were you in doubt, sir, that you asked her?
Signor Benedict, no, for then you were but a child.
You have it full, Benedict. Truly, the lady fathers herself. Be happy, lady, for you are like an honorable father.
If Signor Leonato be her father, she would not have his head on her shoulders for all Messina, as like him as she is.
I wonder that you will still be talking, Signor Benedict. Nobody marks you.
What? My dear Lady Disdain. Are you yet living?
Is it possible Disdain should die while she hath such meat food to feed it with as Signor Benedict? Courtesy itself must convert to disdain if you should come in her presence.
Then is courtesy a turncoat. But it is certain I am loved of all ladies, only you excepted. And I would I could find in my heart that I had not a hard heart, for truly I love none.
A dear happiness to women. They would else be troubled by a pernicious suitor. I thank God in my cold blood that I am of your humor for that. I had rather hear my dog bark at a crow than a man swear he loves me.
God keep your ladyship still in that mind, so some gentleman or other shall scape a predestinate scratched face.
Scratching could not make it worse, and for such a face as yours were.
I would my horse had the speed of your tongue and so good a continuer. But keep your way, in God's name, I have done.
You always end with a jade's trick. I know you of old.
That is the sum of all, Leonato. Signor Claudio and Signor Benedict, my dear friend Leonato hath invited you all. I tell him we shall stay here at the least a month, and he heartily prays some occasion may detain us longer. I dare swear he is no hypocrite, but prays from his heart.
If you swear, my lord, you shall not be forsworn. Let me bid you welcome, Don John. Being reconciled to the prince, your brother, I owe you all duty.
I thank you. I am not of many words, but I thank you.
Please, if your grace, lead on.
Your hand, Leonato. We will go together.
Benedict, didst thou note the daughter of Signor Leonato?
I noted her not, but I looked on her.
Is she not a modest young lady?
Do you question me as an honest man should do for my simple, true judgment? Or would you have me speak after my custom, as being a professed tyrant to their sex?
No, I pray thee speak in sober judgment.
Why? In faith, methinks she's too low for a high praise, too brown for a fair praise, and too little for a great praise. Only this commendation I can afford her, that were she other than she is, she were unhandsome. And being no other but as she is, I do not like her.
Thou thinkest I am in sport? I pray thee tell me truly how thou likest her.
Would you buy her that you inquire after her?
Can the world buy such a jewel?
Yeah. And a case to put it into. What speak you with this sad brow? Come, in what key shall a man take you to go in the song?
In mine eye, she is the sweetest lady that ever I looked on.
I can see yet without spectacles, and I see no such matter. There's her cousin, and were she not possessed with a fury, exceeds her as much in beauty as the 1st of May doth the last of December. but I hope you have no intent to turn husband. Have you?
I would scarce trust myself, though I had sworn the contrary, if Hero would be my wife.
Is it come to this? In faith, hath not the world one man, but he will wear his cap with suspicion? Shall I never see a bachelor of 80 again? Go to, in faith, and thou wilt needs thrust thy neck into a yoke, wear the print of it, and sigh away Sundays.
The prince and Claudio tease Benedict about his attitude towards marriage. Later, Claudio confesses to Don Pedro his fear of asking Hero to marry him. The prince tells him he will woo Hero on Claudio's behalf at the evening's masquerade ball. The next scene begins. What the good year, my lord, why are you thus out of measure sad?
There is no measure in the occasion that breeds, therefore the sadness is without limit.
You should hear reason.
And when I have heard it, what blessing brings it?
If not a present remedy, at least a patient sufferance.
I cannot hide what I am. I must be sad when I have cause, and smile at no man's jests. Eat when I have stomach, and wait for no man's leisure. Sleep when I am drowsy, and tend on no man's business. Laugh when I am merry, and claw no man in his humor.
Yea, but you must not make the full show of this, till you may do it without controlment. You have of late stood out against your brother, and he hath taken you newly into his grace, where it is impossible you should take true root, but by the fair weather that you make yourself. It is needful that you frame the season for your own harvest.
I had rather be a canker in a hedge than a rose in his grace, and it better fits my blood to be disdained from all than to passion a carriage to rob love from any. In this, though it cannot be said that I am a flattering honest man, it must not be denied, but I am a plain dealing villain. I am trusted with a muzzle and enfranchised with a clog. Therefore, I have decreed not to sing in my cage. If I had my mouth, I would bite. If I had my liberty, I would do my liking. In the meantime, let me be that I am, and seek not to alter me.
Can you make no use of your discontent?
I make all use of it, for I use it only. Who comes here? What news, Braccio?
I came yonder from a great supper, where your brother is royally entertained by Leonato, and I can give you intelligence of an intended marriage.
Will it serve for any model to build mischief on? What is he that betroths himself to unquietness?
Mary, it is your brother's right hand.
Who? The most exquisite Claudio?
Even he.
A proper squire. And who? Which way looks he?
Mary, on Hero, the daughter and heir of Leonato.
A very forward-marched chick. How came you to this?
While I was smoking here in the courtyard, I came upon Don Pedro and heard it agreed upon that he should woo Hero for himself, and having obtained her, give her to Count Claudio.
This may prove food to my displeasure. That young startup hath all the glory of my overthrow. If I can cross him anyway, I bless myself every way. You're both sure and will assist me?
To the death, my lord.
Let us to the great supper. Their cheer is the greater that I am subdued. Would the cook were of my mind. Shall we go prove what's to be done?
We'll wait upon your lordship.
Leonato scolds Beatrice about her behavior towards Benedict. The masked ball occurs, and the prince woos Hero. Don John confides in Claudio that the prince has betrayed him and wooed Hero for himself. The prince explains his behavior with Hero, and Claudio asks Leonato for Hero's hand and a quick wedding. Don John, on hearing the news, decides to wreak havoc on Claudio and his brother. He plots with Braccio to stage a fake romantic liaison with Margaret at Hero's bedroom window to make it look like Hero is meeting another man the night before her wedding. Meanwhile, Leonato, the prince, and Claudio plot to gull Benedict into believing that Beatrice is wasting away with love for him. Their plot works, and Benedict is smitten with Beatrice. A similar fate awaits Beatrice.
Now, Ursula, when Beatrice doth come, our talk must only be of Benedict. When I do name him, let it be thy part to praise him more than ever man did merit. My talk to thee must be how Benedick is sick in love with Beatrice. Of this matter is little Cupid's crafty arrow made that only wounds by hearsay. Now begin, for look where Beatrice like a lapwing runs close by the ground to hear our conference.
The pleasantest angling is to see the fish cut with her golden oar the silver stream and greedily devour the treacherous bait. So angle we for Beatrice, who even now is couched in the woodbine coverture. Fear you not my part of the dialogue.
Then go we near her, that her ear lose nothing of the false sweet bait that we lay for it. No, truly, Ursula, she is too disdainful. I know her spirits are as coy and wild as haggards of the rock.
But are you sure that Benedick loves Beatrice so entirely?
So says the prince and my betrothed lord.
And did they bid you tell her of it, madam?
They didn't treat me to acquaint her of it, but I persuaded them if they loved Benedick to wish him wrestle with affection, and never to let Beatrice know of it.
Oh, why did you so? Doth not the gentleman deserve as full, as fortunate a bed as ever Beatrice shall couch upon?
Oh, God of love, I know he doth deserve as much as may be yielded to a man, but nature never framed a woman's heart of prouder stuff than that of Beatrice. Disdain and scorn ride sparkling in her eyes, misprizing what they look on, and her wit values itself so highly that to her all matter else seems weak. She cannot love, nor take no shape nor project of affection. She is so self-endeared.
Sure, I think so. And therefore certainly it were not good she knew his love, lest she'll make sport at it.
Why, you speak truth. I never yet saw a man how wise, how noble, young, how rarely featured, but she would spell him backward. If fair-faced, she would swear the gentleman should be her sister. If tan, why, nature, drawing of an antic, made a foul blot. If tall, a lance ill-headed. If low, an agate very vilely cut. If speaking, why, a vein blown with all winds. If silent, why, a block moved with none. So turns she every man the wrong side out, and never gives to truth and virtue that which simpleness and merit purchaseth.
Sure. Such carping is not commendable.
No, not to be so odd and from all fashions as Beatrice is cannot be commendable. But who dare tell her so? If I should speak, she would mock me into air. Oh, she would laugh me out of myself, press me to death with wit. Therefore let Benedick, like covered fire, consume away in sighs, waste inwardly. It were a better death than die with mocks, which is as bad as die with tickling.
Yet tell her of it, hear what she will say.
No, rather I will go to Benedick and counsel him to fight against his passion. And truly I'll devise some honest slanders to stain my cousin with. One doth not know how much an ill word may empoison liking.
Oh, do not do your cousin such a wrong. She cannot be so much without true judgment, having so swift and excellent a wit as she is prized to have, as to refuse so rare a gentleman as Signor Benedick.
He is the only man of Italy, always accepted, my dear Claudio.
Oh, I pray you, be not angry with me, madam, speaking my fancy. Signor Benedick for shape, for bearing, argument, and valor goes foremost in report through Italy.
Indeed, he hath an excellent good name.
His excellence did earn it ere he had it. When are you married, madam?
Why, every day. Tomorrow. Come, go in. I'll show thee some attires and have thy counsel which is the best to furnish me tomorrow.
She's limed, I warrant you. We have caught her, madam.
If it proves so, then loving goes by haps. Some Cupid kills with arrows, some with traps.
What fire is in mine ears? Can this be true? Stand I condemned for pride and scorn so much? Contempt, farewell, and maiden pride, adieu. No glory lives behind the back of such. And Benedick, love on. I will requite thee, taming my wild heart for thy loving hand. If thou dost love, my kindness shall incite thee to bind our loves up in a holy band. For others say thou dost deserve, and I believe it better than reportingly.
Leonardo, the prince, Claudio, and Benedick meet. It is clear that Benedick is out of sorts. He is in love. Later, Don John meets with his brother and Claudio, telling them that Hero is untrue and not a virgin. He takes them at midnight to observe Hero's bedroom window where they think they see Hero embracing and kissing another man. It's actually Margaret, innocently flirting with Borachio. Meanwhile, we meet the local constable, Dogberry, and his Lieutenant Verges, and 2 members of the watch, Georgia Seacole and Hannah Oatcake. Dogberry gives them their duties for the night and sends them off, telling them to be vigilant. They stumble upon Conrad and Borachio and hear Borachio tell of his mischief that night with Margaret. The night watch awaits the 2. The wedding is the next day.
Good Ursula, wake my cousin Beatrice and desire her to rise.
I will, lady.
And bid her come hither.
Well.
Troth, I think your other rabato were better.
No, pray thee, good Meg, I'll wear this.
By my troth, it's not so good, and I warrant your cousin will say so.
My cousin's a fool, and thou art another. I'll wear none but this.
Well, your gown's a most rare fashion in faith. I saw Greta Garbo's gown that they praise so.
Oh, that exceeds, they say.
By my troth, it's but a nightgown in respect of yours. Cloth of gold and cuts, laced with silver, set with pearls, side sleeves, and skirts round underborne with a bluish tinsel. But for a fine, quaint, graceful, and excellent fashion, yours is worth 10 on it.
God give me joy to wear it, for my heart is exceeding heavy.
'Twill be heavier soon by the weight of a man.
Fie upon thee, art not ashamed?
Of what, lady? Of speaking honorably? Is not marriage honorable in a beggar? Is not your lord honorable without marriage? I think you would have me say, saving your reverence, a husband. And bad thinking, do not rest true speaking. I'll offend nobody. Is there any harm in the heavier for a husband? None, I think, and it be the right husband and the right wife. Otherwise, 'tis light and not heavy. Ask my lady Beatrice else, here she comes.
Good morrow, coz.
Good morrow, sweet Hero.
Why, how now? Do you speak in the sick tune?
I am out of all other tune, methinks.
Claps into light o' love, that goes without a burden. Do you sing it and I'll dance it.
You light o' love with your heels. 'Tis almost 5 o'clock, cousin, 'tis time you are ready. By my troth, I am exceeding ill. Hi-ho.
For a hawk, a horse, or a husband?
For the letter that begins them all. H.
Well, there's no more sailing by the star.
What means the full tro?
Nothing, but God send everyone their heart's desires.
These gloves the Count sent me, they are an excellent perfume.
I am stuffed, cousin, I cannot smell.
A maid, and stuffed. There's goodly catching of cold.
Oh, God help me. God help me, how long have you professed apprehension?
Ever since you left it, doth not my wit become me rarely?
It is not seen enough. You should wear it in your cap. By my troth, I am sick.
Get you some of this distilled Carduus Benedictus and lay it to your heart. It is the only thing for a qualm.
Benedictus. Why Benedictus? You have some moral in this Benedictus?
Moral? No, by my troth, I have no moral meaning. I meant plain holy thistle. You may think, perchance, that I think you are in love. Nay, by Our Lady, I'm not such a fool to think what I list, nor I list not to think what I can. Nor indeed I cannot think, if I were to think my heart out of thinking that you are in love, or that you will be in love, or that you can be in love. Yet Benedick was such another. Now is he become a man. He swore he would never marry, and yet now, in despite of his heart, he eats his meat without grudging. And how you may be converted, I know not, but methinks you look with your eyes as other women do.
What pace is this that thy tongue keeps?
Not a false gallop.
Madam, withdraw. The prince, the count, Signor Benedick, Don John, and all the gallants of the town will be present.
Help to dress me, good coz, good Meg, good Ursula.
It is moments before the wedding, and Dogberry and Verges have come to Leonato to tell him of the previous night's shenanigans. Leonato is too pressed for time and sends them away before hearing of their news.
Come, Friar Francis, be brief, only to the plain form of marriage, and you shall recount their particular duties afterwards.
You come hither, my lord, to marry this lady?
No.
To be married to her. Friar, you come to marry her.
Lady, you come hither to be married to this count?
I do.
If either of you know any inward impediment why you should not be conjoined, I charge you on your souls to utter it.
Know you any hero?
None, my lord.
Know you any count?
I dare make his answer. None.
Oh, what men dare do. Oh, what men may do. What men daily do, not knowing what they do.
Now, interjections. Why then some be of laughing, as,
Stand thee by, friar. Father, by your leave, will you with free and unconstrained soul give me this maid, your daughter?
As freely, son, as God did give her me.
And what have I to give you back, whose worth may counterpoise this rich and precious gift?
Nothing, unless you render her again.
Sweet prince, you learn me noble thankfulness. There, Leonato, take her back again. Give not this rotten orange to your friend. She is but the sign and semblance of her honor. Behold, how like a maid she blushes here. Oh, what authority and show of truth can cunning sin cover itself withal? Comes not that blood as modest evidence to witness simple virtue? Would you not swear, all you that see her, that she were a maid by the exterior shows? But she is none. She knows the heat of a luxurious bed. Her blush is guiltiness, not modesty.
What do you mean, my lord?
Not to be married, not to knit my soul to an approved wanton.
Dear my lord, if you in your own proof have vanquished the resistance of her youth, and made defeat of her virginity.
I know what you would say. If I have known her, you will say she did embrace me as a husband, and so extenuate the forehand sin. No, Leonato, I never tempted her with word too large, but as a brother to his sister, showed bashful sincerity and comely love.
And seemed I ever otherwise to you?
Out on thee seeming, I will write against it. You seem to me as Diane in her orb, as chaste as is the bud ere it be blown, but you are more intemperate in your blood than Venus, or those pampered animals that rage in savage sensuality.
My lord, well that he doth speak so wide?
Sweet prince, why speak not you?
What should I speak? I stand dishonored that have gone about to link my dear friend to a common stale.
Are these things spoken, or do I but dream?
Sir, they are spoken, and these things are true.
This looks not like a nuptial.
True, oh God!
Leonato, stand I here? Is this the prince? Is this the prince's brother? Is this face heroes? Are our eyes our own?
All this is so, but what of this, my lord?
Let me but move one question to your daughter, and by that fatherly and kindly power that you have in her, bid her answer truly.
I charge thee do so, as thou art my child.
Oh God, defend me, how am I beset? What kind of catechizing call you this?
To make you answer truly to your name.
Is it not Hero? Who can blot that name with any just reproach?
Marry, that can Hero. Hero itself can blot out Hero's virtue. What man was he talked with you yesternight out at your window betwixt 12 and 1? Now, if you are a maid, answer to this.
I talked with no man at that hour, my lord.
Why then are you no maiden? Leonato, I am sorry you must hear. Upon mine honor, myself, my brother, and this grieved count did see her, hear her at that hour, talk with a ruffian at her chamber window, who hath indeed, most like a liberal villain, confessed the vile encounters they have had 1,000 times in secret.
Fie, fie, they are not to be named, my lord, not to be spoke of. There is not chastity enough in language to utter them without offense. Thus, pretty lady, I am sorry for thy much misgovernment.
O Hero, what a hero hadst thou been if half thy outward graces had been placed about thy thoughts and counsels of thy heart. But fare thee well, most foul, most fair. Farewell, thou pure impiety and impious purity. For thee I will lock up all the gates of love, and on my eyelids shall conjecture hang, to turn all beauty into thoughts of harm, and never shall it more be gracious.
Hath no man's dagger here a point for me?
Why, how no cousin, wherefore sink you down?
Come, let us go. These things come thus to light, smother her spirits up.
Pause a while, and let my counsel sway you in this case. Your daughter here the princess left for dead. Let her a while be secretly kept in, and publish it, that she is dead indeed. Maintain a mourning ostentation, and on your family's old monuments hang mournful epitaphs, and do all rites that appertain unto a burial.
What shall become of this? What will this do?
Mary, this well carried shall on her behalf change slander to remorse. That is some good. But not for that dream I on this strange course, but on this travail look for greater birth. She dying, as it must be so maintained, upon the instant that she was accused, shall be lamented, pitied, and excused of every hearer. For it so falls out that what we have, we prize not to the worth whilst we enjoy it, but being lacked and lost, why then we rack the value. Then we find the virtue that possession will not show us whilst it was ours. So will it fare with Claudio? When he shall hear she died upon his words, the idea of her life shall sweetly creep into his study of imagination, and every lovely organ of her life shall come apparelled in more precious habit than when she lived indeed. Then shall he mourn, and wish he had not so accused her, no, though he thought his accusation true. Let this be so, and doubt not but success will fashion the event in better shape than I can lay it down in likelihood. And if it sort not well, you may conceal her, as best befits her wounded reputation, in some reclusive and religious life, out of all eyes, minds, tongues, and injuries.
Signor Leonato, let the friar advise you. And though you know my inwardness and love is very much unto the prince and Claudio, yet by mine honor I will deal in this as secretly and justly as your soul should with your body.
Being that I flow in grief, the smallest twine may lead me.
'Tis well consented. Presently away, for to strange sores strangely they strain the cure. Come, lady, die to live. This wedding day perhaps is but prolonged. Have patience and endure.
Lady Beatrice, have you wept all this while?
Yea, and I will weep a while longer.
I will not desire that.
You have no reason. I do it freely.
Surely. I do believe your fair cousin is wronged.
How much might the man deserve of me that would right her?
Is there any way to show such friendship?
A very even way, but no such friend.
May a man do it.
It is a man's office, but not yours.
I do love nothing in the world so well as you. It's not that strange.
As strange as the thing I know not. It were possible for me to say that I love nothing so well as you. But believe me not, yet I lie not. I confess nothing, nor I deny nothing. I am sorry for my cousin.
By my honor, Beatrice, thou lovest me.
Do not swear and eat it.
I will swear by it that you love me, and I will make him eat it that says I love not you.
Will you not eat your word?
With no sauce that can be devised to it. I protest. I love thee.
Why then, God forgive me.
What offense, sweet Beatrice?
You have stayed me in a happy hour. I was about to protest. I loved you.
And then do it with all thy heart.
I love you with so much of my heart that none is left to protest.
Come, bid me do anything for thee.
Kill Claudio.
Not for the wide world.
You kill me to deny it. Farewell.
Tarry, sweet Beatrice.
I am gone, though I am here. There is no love in you. Nay, I pray you let me go.
Beatrice.
In faith, I will go.
We'll be friends first.
You dare easier be friends with me than fight with mine enemy?
Oh, is Claudio thine enemy?
Is he not approved in the height a villain that hath slandered, scorned, dishonored mine kinswoman? That I were a man. Bear her in hand until they come to take hands, and then with public accusation, uncovered slander, unmitigated rancor, oh God, that I were a man. I would eat his heart in the marketplace.
Hear me, Beatrice.
Talk with a man out at a window, a proper saying.
Nay, but Beatrice.
Sweet hero. She is wronged. She is slandered. She is undone.
Beatrice.
Princes and counties. Surely a princely testimony, a goodly count confect, a sweet gallant surely. Oh, that I were a man for his sake. Or that I had any friend who would be a man for my sake. But manhood is melted into curtsies, and valor into compliment, and men are now turned into tongue, and trim ones too. He is now as valiant as Hercules that only tells a lie and swears it. I cannot be a man with wishing, therefore I will die a woman with grieving.
Tarry, good Beatrice, by this hand I love thee.
Use it for my love some other way than swearing by it.
I think you in your soul the Count Claudio hath wronged Hero.
Yea, as sure as I have a thought or a soul.
Enough. I am engaged. I will challenge him. I will kiss your hand. And so I leave you. By this hand, Claudio shall render me a dear account. As you hear of me, so think of me. Go, comfort your cousin. I must say she is dead. And so, farewell.
The scene shifts to Dogberry's office, where the questioning of Conrad and Baraccio ensues.
Is our whole dissembly appeared?
Which be the malefactors?
Marry, that am I and my partner.
Nay, that is certain. We have the exhibition to examine.
But which are the offenders that are to be examined? Let them come before Master Constable.
Yea, marry, let them come before me. What is your name, friend?
Baraccio.
Oh, pray, write down Baraccio. And yours, Sirrah?
I am a gentleman, sir, and my name is Conrad.
Write down Master Gentleman Conrad. Masters, do you serve God?
Yea, sir, we hope.
Write down that they hope they serve God, but write God first, for God defend, but God should go before such villains. Masters, it is proved already that you are little more than false knaves, and will go near to be thought so shortly. How answer you for yourselves?
Marry, sir, we say we are none.
A marvelous, witty fellow, I assure you. But I will go about with him. Come you hither, sirrah. A word in your ear. Masters, I say to you, it is thought you are false knaves.
Sir, I say to you, we are none.
Well, stand aside, for God, they are both in a tale. Have you writ down that they are none?
Master Constable, you go not the way to examine. You must call forth the watch that are their accusers.
Yea, marry, that's the eftest way. Let the watch come forth. Masters, I charge you in the prince's name, accuse these men.
This man said, sir, that Don John, the prince's brother, was a villain.
Write down, Prince John, a villain. Why, this is flat perjury, to call a prince's brother villain.
Master Constable,
I
I
pray
would...
thee, fellow, peace. I do not like thy look, I promise thee.
What heard you him say else?
Marry, that he had received 1,000 lira of Don John for accusing the lady hero wrongfully.
Flat burglary as ever was committed.
Yea, by mass that it is.
What else, fellow?
And that Count Claudio did mean upon his words to disgrace Hero before the whole assembly and not marry her.
Oh, villains! Thou wilt be condemned into everlasting redemption for this.
What else?
This is all.
And this is more, masters, than you can deny. Prince John is this morning secretly stolen away. Hero was in this manner accused, in this very manner refused, and upon the grief of this, suddenly died. Master Constable, let these men be bound and brought to Leonato's. I will go before and show him their examination.
Come, let them be opinioned.
Let them be in the hands
of the coxcomb!
God's my life, where is the friar? Let him write the prince's officer, coxcomb. Come, bind them, thou naughty varlet.
Away! You are an ass! You are an ass!
Dost thou not suspect my place? Dost thou not suspect my years? Oh, that he were here to write me down an ass! But masters, remember that I am an ass, though it be not written down, yet forget not that I am an ass. No, thou villains, thou art full of piety, as shall be proved upon thee by good witness. I am a wise fellow, and which is more, an officer, and which is more, a householder, and which is more, as pretty a piece of flesh as any in Messina, and one who knows the law. Go to, and a rich fellow enough. Go to, and a fellow that hath had losses, and one that hath 2 shirts, and everything handsome about him. Bring him away. Oh, that I had been writ down an ass.
The scene shifts to Leonato's villa, where he and Antonia meet the prince and Claudio.
If you go on thus, you will kill yourself, and 'tis not wisdom thus to second grief against yourself.
I pray thee, cease thy counsel, which falls into mine ears as profitless as water in a sieve. Give not me counsel, nor let no comforter delight mine ear, but such a one whose wrongs do suit with mine. Bring me a father that so loved his child, whose joy of her is overwhelmed like mine, and bid him speak of patience. But there is no such man. For sister men can counsel and speak comfort to that grief which they themselves not feel. But tasting it, that counsel turns to passion. Therefore give me none. My griefs cry louder than advertisement.
Therein do men from children nothing differ.
I pray thee peace. I will be flesh and blood.
Yet bend not all the harm upon yourself. Make those that do offend you suffer too.
There, thou speak'st reason. Nay, I will do so. My soul doth tell me Hero is belied, and that shall Claudio know. So shall the prince, and all of them that thus dishonor her.
Here come he now with Claudio hastily.
Ah. Good day. Good day.
Good day to both of you.
Hear you, my lords.
We have some haste, Leonato.
Some haste, my lord. Well, fare you well, my lord. Are you so hasty now? Well, all is one.
Nay, do not quarrel with us, good old man.
If he could right himself with quarreling, some of us would lie low.
Who wrongs him?
Marry, thou dost wrong me, thou dissembler, thou. Nay, never lay thy hand against my cheek, I fear thee not.
Marry, beshrew my hand if it to give your age such cause of fear. In faith, my hand meant nothing to thy cheek.
Oh, tush, tush, man, never fleer and jest at me. I speak not like a dotard nor a fool, as under privilege of age to brag, what I have done being young, or what would do were I not old. Know this, Claudio, to thy head. Thou hast so wronged mine innocent child and me, that I am forced to lay my reverence by, and with gray hairs and bruise of many days, do challenge thee to a trial of a man. I say thou hast belied mine innocent child. Thy slander hath gone through and through her heart, and she now lies buried with her ancestors. Oh, in a tomb where never scandal slept, save this of hers, framed by thy villainy.
My villainy?
Thine, Claudio, thine, I say.
You say not right, old man.
My lord, I'll prove it on his body if he dare.
Away! I will not have to do with you.
Canst thou so daff me? Thou hast killed my child. If thou kill'st me, boy, thou shalt kill a man.
He shall kill two of us, and kin indeed. But that's no matter, let him kill one first. Win me and wear me, let him answer me. Come, follow me, boy. Come, sir, boy, come, follow me. Sir, boy, I'll whip you from your foining fence. Nay, as I am a gentlewoman, I will. Content yourself. God knows I loved my niece, and she is dead, slandered to death by villains that dare as well answer a man indeed as I dare take a serpent by the tongue. Boys, apes, braggarts, jacks, millstops!
Sister Antonia.
Come, 'tis no matter, do not you meddle, let me deal in this.
Gentlefolk both, we will not wait your patience. My heart is sorry for your daughter's death, but on my honor, she was charged with nothing but what was true and very full of proof.
My lord, my lord!
I will not hear you.
No? Come, sister, away. I will be heard.
And shall, or some of us will smart for it.
Benedick joins the prince and Claudio and challenges Claudio to a duel to avenge Hero's death. Dogberry and his constables enter with Conrad and Baraccio, who confesses his misdeed. Hero is proved innocent. Leonato enters, hears the truth, and demands recompense for his dead child from Claudio and the prince. Claudio promises to pay tribute to Hero at her tomb annually. He also promises to marry Antonia's daughter, sight unseen. Meanwhile, Benedick talks to Margaret, asking for her help in wooing Beatrice. Margaret's saucy replies are stilled when Beatrice enters, and she and Benedick have a lively conversation. Ursula enters and reports that Hero has been vindicated. Claudio's second wedding follows with 4 veiled women brought forward.
Did I not tell you she was innocent?
So are the prince and Claudio, who accused her upon the error that you heard debated. But Margaret was in some fault for this, although against her will, as it appears in the true course of all the question.
Well, I am glad that all things sort so well.
Oh, and so am I, being else by faith and forced to call young Claudio to a reckoning for it.
Well, daughter, and you gentle women all, withdraw into a chamber by yourselves, and when I send for you, come hither veiled. The prince and Claudio promised by this hour to visit me. You know your office, sister. You must be mother to your brother's daughter, and give her to young Claudio.
Which I will do with confirmed countenance.
Friar, I must entreat your pains, I think.
To do what, senor?
To bind me, or undo me, one of them. Signor Leonato, truth it is, good signor. Your niece regards me with an eye of favor.
That eye my daughter lent her. 'Tis most true.
And I do with an eye of love requite her.
The sight whereof I think you had from me, from Claudio and the prince. But what's your will?
Your answer, sir, is enigmatical. But for my will is your good will may stand with ours. This day to be conjoined in the state of honorable marriage, in which, good friar, I shall desire your help.
My heart is with your liking.
And my help. Here come the prince and Claudio.
Good morrow to this fair assembly.
Good morrow, prince. Good morrow, Claudio. We here attend you. Are you yet determined today to marry with my sister's daughter?
I'll hold my mind were she a withered hag.
Call her forth, sister. Here's the friar ready.
Which is the lady I must seize upon?
This same is she, and I do give you her.
Why then, she's mine. Sweet, let me see your face.
No, that you shall not till you take her hand before this friar and swear to marry her.
Give me your hand before this holy friar. I am your husband, if you like of me.
And when I lived, I was your other wife. And when you loved, you were my other husband.
Another hero?
Nothing certainer. One hero died defiled, but I do live. And surely as I live, I am a maid.
The former hero. A hero that is dead.
She died, my lord, but whilst her slander lived.
All this amazement can I qualify. When that after the holy rites are ended, I'll tell you largely a fair hero's death. Meantime, let wander seem familiar, and to the chapel let us presently.
Fair friar, which is Beatrice?
I answer to that name. What is your will?
Do not you love me?
Why, no! No more than reason.
Or then your uncle and the prince and Claudio have been deceived. They swore you did.
Do not you love me?
Troth, no. No more than reason.
Why then, my cousin, Margaret and Ursula are much deceived, for they did swear you did.
They swore that you were almost sick for me.
They swore you were well nigh dead for me.
'Tis no such matter. Then you do not love me?
No, truly, but in friendly recompense.
Come, cousin, I am sure you love the gentleman.
And I'll be sworn upon it that he loves her. For here is a paper written in his hand, a halting sonnet of his own pure brain passion to Beatrice.
And here's another written my cousin's hand, stolen from her pocket, containing her affection unto Benedick.
A miracle! Here's our own hands against our hearts. Come, I will have thee, but by the slide I take thee for pity.
I would not deny you. But by this good day, I yield upon great persuasion, and partly to save your life, for I was told you were in a consumption.
Peace! I will stop your mouth.
How dost thou, Benedict, the married man?
I'll tell thee what, Prince. A college of witcrackers cannot flout me out of my humor. Dost thou think I care for a satire or an epigram? No. In brief, since I do purpose to marry, I will think nothing to any purpose that the world can say against it, and therefore never flout at me for what I have said against it. For man is a giddy thing, and this is my conclusion. For thy part, Claudio, I did think to have beaten thee, but in that thou art like to be my kinsman, live unbruised, and love my cousin. Come, we are friends. Let's have a dance ere we are married, that we may lighten our own hearts and our wives' heels.
We'll have dancing afterward.
First of my word. Therefore play, music. Prince, thou art sad. Get thee a wife. Get thee a wife.
My lord, your brother John is ta'en in flight and brought back to Messina.
Think not on him till tomorrow. Strike up, maestro. To love.
Bravo. Well done, everyone. Let us now get back to Greg Stull, who will lead us in our Q&A.
Thanks, everybody. That was terrific. We're so proud of you. What a historic night for UMW Theatre. I'm so happy with where we find ourselves now. So everybody who's watching, what we're going to do now is entertain some questions from both YouTube Live and from Zoom. You just enter your questions in the chat feature in the question and answers, and we will be taking them and answering them. John Reynolds is here to help me as well. And while he gets the first question queued up, one of the things we'd like to ask all of you watching at home, if you would send us a photo of your setup watching Much Ado tonight, we would love that. We'd love to collect some photos of our audience watching from home for our archives and as a sort of document to this historic event. So just send those photos to theater@umw.edu and we would love it. Okay, John, what do you have for us?
All right, I've got a question from Jessica earlier. What were some difficulties about rehearsing online?
Difficulties about rehearsing online. Nathan, why don't you take that for us?
Yeah, some difficulties that we faced were probably the internet connection. Like there were many moments, at least on my end, where there was just lag everywhere. So it was a little bit hard to follow with a lot of the fellow actors who were in their scenes. And we overcame that over time, at least. But I will say it was pretty annoying at the time.
Yeah, so just embracing this new technology.
Yeah, what did a typical day of rehearsal look like for you?
A day of rehearsal. Genesis, why don't you take that for us?
Yeah, so in rehearsals, it's just getting everything set up kind of takes a while, especially getting everything to the right height so you're not showing too much of your body or not enough. And then the actual rehearsal process was really interesting because of all the different internet issues that we had and things that we had to go through. But I think it was a really good experience because of all the different ways that we had to make everything work and work together to create this wonderful show.
Great. So Next one is
Am
from
I spitting it
Samantha,
out?
an alum. She, for the stage management team, what was the heart of a show via Zoom?
Aaron, why don't you take that for us? Aaron's our stage manager of this show. So what were the particular challenges about rehearsing and getting the show together via Zoom?
I'm muted, sorry. So for me personally, I felt like I wasn't doing enough during rehearsal, because when we moved online, a lot of the paperwork and things that I had to do during rehearsal weren't needed anymore. Like I didn't need to take blocking. Olivia didn't need to do her wardrobe run list and stuff like that. So I'm sitting in rehearsal and I'm watching all these actors put in hard work, and I'm sitting here thinking I should be doing more. Like I'm not doing enough to contribute to this production, even though I know that I'm doing the most that I can. So I think just finding things to do that are productive and not just busy work was probably the hardest for me, because I like to be doing things when I'm in rehearsal and I like to be active.
That's great. So Aaron was joined by Shannon, Grace, and Olivia on the team, whose duties changed when we went online, but they've been a terrific support nonetheless.
This one is from Natalie. How much harder is it to perform a comedy with no audience to give you feedback?
That's a great question. Hannah, why don't you take that for us?
I would love to take this one. It's really hard because you don't have any energy to play off of with an audience. You don't have anybody reacting to, the comedic lines that you're saying. And that's always a good feeling as an actor. And when you don't have that, it's a little bit different. But you have to remember what you're doing it for, and you're playing off of your fellow scene partners. And you really just got to be confident in yourself and know that you're doing the best work you can possibly do, no matter what, if you have an audience or not, or if it's there or online.
Great. Let's see. What do you prepare the scenes, decide what scenes we're going for the show?
So how do we decide which scenes were going to be performed for the show? Is that the question, John?
Yes.
So the director, Helen Housley, she made a series of decisions about the scenes, one to include all of the actors, and as well as to choose the scenes that that told the story in the best possible way. And so that was done early on once we made the decision to move the performance online. And we've stuck with that script ever since. Do you have another question, John?
Great. Yeah, I do. So, Helen, did you ever think that you would ever direct something online?
Of course not. I've been a director for the stage for many, many, many years, and never had any desire to direct for the camera. And so when this opportunity presented itself, I was terrified. And fortunately, everything worked out thanks to our wonderful cast and crew and the support system provided by the theater department. But no, never.
Great. And
one of the terrific things, John, sorry, one of the terrific things about this whole experience has been that what you see tonight has been underscored by extraordinary work by a great number of people. Brandon Prendergast on our staff, John Reynolds, also Taryn Snyder, have worked tirelessly to build the platform so that we could do what we do. And we've all learned together. We've taken a month to learn together. And so that's been terrific. And we've been really grateful to Helen and the entire company of the show who've been along on this journey and with great good humor.
I've got this one from Julie. The lighting is consistently excellent. Did you require special equipment?
A lighting question, that's great. Anson, why don't you take that?
Well, yes. So being in my garage, there's not much lighting. It's a lot of windows, so there's natural light. However, once we get to 7 o'clock, it is pitch black outside. So I have 2 lamps set up on the other side of the room and then 1 lamp behind me so I can illuminate my face and the background. So it's all one even color.
So one of the things is that the actors all got notes on their lighting and their backgrounds and how their cameras were placed. One of our actors, Oscar, had to move throughout his house to find the best possible light, and he did. He found it, and it's been something that, you know, actors are not usually responsible for lighting, and so they've had to learn a lot about lighting, and that's been a really terrific experience for them, I think. But I think they nailed it, so we're really pleased with that.
Right, and then a follow-up to that. Are these costumes of some sort, or are these the clothes you were wearing today?
Jess, will you take that for us?
Sure. So it's kind of a bit of both. You saw in the beginning video all the beautiful costumes that were designed by Kevin McCluskey. Obviously, we weren't able to wear those, so each of us sent 6 pictures of outfits in our wardrobe or tops to Kevin, and he selected ones to be the most cohesive for his vision throughout the show.
One of the distinguishing things that the costume designer had to do when we moved online was just differentiate between the characters on the screen so that folks look different, so it would be easy to focus on the characters the actors were playing. And so we had to leave behind that gorgeous 1953 concept, and you saw those beautiful clothes still unfinished, waiting for actors to wear someday, maybe in the theater. So indeed, these were costumes. They've been in dress rehearsal for several days, wearing the costumes they've chosen from their own homes.
Great. I've got another one here from Tiffany. She said she knows that this must be such a strange way to perform for all of you when you're used to live theater, but was there an upside to this? Did you learn something new about your craft?
Great. Sean, will you take that for us?
Sure. I have learned that it's hard not having the person in front of you, but it's not impossible. You can still make connections with the cast and with the crew through a computer. Hashtag media age, yes.
Great.
And from Niffer, how did you create intimacy between the actors and have a relationship between all of the actors?
That's terrific. I think I know who that is, Niffer. Hello. I'm glad you're with us tonight. So creating intimacy in these moments. Mandy, will you take that?
Yeah, sure. So we did a lot of table work and a lot of, we had a lot of rehearsal time before we ended up being taken out of school and sent home. So we were able to kind of work on it before then and do it in person with Helen and with each other. But other than that, it's been focusing on each other's faces on the screen, listening to each other's voices, and just staying really honest in the moment as much as possible when you're not actually physically with the person. So
great. I've got another one here from Maddie. How did it feel to know that 1,400 plus people were watching you all tonight?
Tommy, why don't you answer that?
It was wild. It was something I don't think I was necessarily expecting. Very rewarding for all the work that we've all put in. I know myself included, and I'm sure everybody else can attest to it. You know, it's always nice getting a big audience in a theater, and this is something that I don't think any of us would have ever expected. You know, performing for 1,400 people is not something I expected to do in my, age now. Hopefully later on, but not right now. So it was very rewarding.
Great. Let's see here. From Mark, did you all keep some kind of a chat window open in the background so that you all knew what was happening the way that you would have stage managers kind of controlling things in a live performance on stage?
That's Ethan, why don't you answer that?
Hello. So instead of, we didn't really have a chat window. There is a chat function that Zoom has, and those we sort of pre-show, we sort of had our, oh, this is your 15-minute warning for when the show's going to start. But during the show, all of our cues were just rehearsed prior to today, and it's all just our memory and our knowledge of our roles as to when we go on stage.
Great. This is from Martha. How did you control the other people in your households?
That's a really, really great question. Matthew, why don't you take that?
Okay, well, it was a little hard because my brother never listens, but I kind of sat down and was like, hey, this is gonna happen. If you guys would like to watch it, feel free, but maybe watch it downstairs so that there's no echo or anything, and you still get the full experience. But other than that, it was just negotiating.
How about you, William? How did you control your family?
Well, we live in a pretty tight space right now, so there was a little bit of buttering up that had to be done, but they understand that this is important to me, so they were actually quite easy to go with. It is my grandparents that were the harder sell, but we managed to figure it out because, as everyone knows, I am a master negotiator.
How is it that you ended up performing in that closet?
That was my choice. They offered me the room. This closet is actually quite beautiful for performing because, as you can see, I still got my hand motions, which is very important to me.
Great.
Let's see here. I'm trying to go back and forth between two things. Who were all of the seniors performing for their last time? This is from Anna.
Raise your hand if you're a senior and you're on stage for the last time with UMW Theatre. Yeah, our terrific seniors. And those of you who are making your first performance with UMW Theatre, why don't you raise your hands? First performance with UMW Theatre. That's great. Yeah, so we'll be seeing more of those folks as well.
Great. Couple more here. Let's see. Was there any thought to how you all interact with each other? What are the difficulties, challenges to interacting with each other as actors here?
Right. So additional acting challenges in terms of making the scenes work when you're in different places. Megan, why don't you take that?
Sure. There's a couple different challenges that have come up. Specifically, I can think of internet lag sometimes making cues harder to pick up on. Occasionally, there's been a time or two when someone will drop out of a scene because their internet turns off or something, and we have to work around that. For me personally, it's a really great way to establish a connection. When I'm talking to Maddie on screen, I always have her video pinned, so I'm just looking at her, and it's me and her the whole scene.
Great. I am looking through all of the questions here, trying to find some different questions. Great. How did you time the slap fight choreography over video? From Tori.
Slap fight. Let's see. Who wants to take that? Who should take that? Mitch, do you want to take that?
Yes,
or maybe Tommy should.
Oh.
Go ahead. I wasn't super a part of it, but I did watch what they were doing, and it was a lot of just practice and rehearse. You know, keep doing it and make sure it gets down. And Helen providing notes on if she thought it worked and if it didn't. You know, it's hard getting a technique of fight choreography when nobody's in front of you because it's all physical. And if there's nobody physically next to you, then it's a lot different to perform it. But I think they pulled it off well. And, you know, I think they should be happy with the outcome of it.
Right. So Tommy was our fight director for the show, fight choreographer for the show. And so going online certainly changed that quite a bit for us.
Okay, what was one of the positives of, what do you think is one of the like positives to doing this in this format?
Mitch, why don't you take that one?
Well, I think it definitely requires a level of focus that you would find on the stage, but because the fact is I have a phone rather than a computer. I don't have a device that's good enough for this sort of thing. So sometimes I'm not even looking at the person who I'm supposed to be speaking with, and it requires a level of focus that is different from being on stage. It's a very rewarding process.
How about you, Rachel? What were some of the positive benefits of this kind of performance venue?
Well, I think learning how to get, kind of work off of someone who might not be doing what you need, even though everyone is doing perfect and wonderful, but it's a computer, so it's hard to really connect. So really trusting your instincts and working on yourself, I think, is really important. Also, it's very helpful to know that we don't see ourselves on Zoom. We have been told to shut our self camera off, so it's very we are focusing on the other people, and it's very nice.
Great. This is from Jessica, also an alum. What was, for Helen, what was it like to direct over Zoom? Do you have any advice for people who are going to be doing some directing over the internet over the next couple of months, perhaps?
Sure. I think the biggest thing that I came to realize was that directing from a distance to 18 people in different spaces is really no different. You need to focus on the things that you focus on as a director. In other words, character, subtext, relationships, interactions. And even though people are doing this from afar, reminding actors that they have to listen to each other and react to what they're given. When we initially started, that first week, we were almost all on autopilot, trying to figure this whole thing out. And by the second week, I started seeing the characters emerge and watching them, listening to each other and reacting to each other. I keep saying the same words. So the bottom line is you're really looking for the same kinds of qualities in your actors as you would if you were in the same rehearsal space with them.
Great. This is one for stage management, perhaps. This is from Kate. What would you have done tonight if someone's internet had stopped and they had gotten kicked out of the Zoom meeting?
Grace, why don't you take that one for us? What's the protocol?
Yeah, so we discussed this in case it would happen, and we have, first off, we have an emergency call-in so that if the actors do get out and they're in the middle of a scene, we would call in via phone, and we would just hear their voice. We would not see their voice.
And she froze.
How appropriate.
Someone would come in and cover for the actor who froze or cut out, just like we're doing right now. And so either if the actors can recover, depending on how large of a role the person has in a scene, we would try to continue on. But if I think, we're spiraling downwards and we can't come back, then I would hold the show and we would wait for the person to reconnect. And once they are back on screen or have audio and no video, then we would start the performance back up from whatever point I feel is best.
And just like a stage manager, you you came in to save us. That's true.
This is for Greg. We've gotten this question a lot. So will the YouTube video of this performance be put up online for future viewings?
Yeah, so what we intend to do is we intend to archive tonight's performance and serve it live on YouTube so folks can watch it as well. And we will also contribute it to our library on campus is creating a special collection of the stories of COVID-19 and how it's affected student experiences and faculty experiences. And so our performance tonight is going to be a part of that collection as well. But it will be on YouTube Live very soon. The YouTube Live performance will be on YouTube very soon, and you can watch it at your leisure.
Great. From Allison, what were some surprises that cropped up along the way?
Oscar, why don't you take that?
I guess the whole big surprise of that we're not performing at stage. That was a big surprise. I don't know. I think for me, it was like the lighting. I cannot find a place in my house where it was bright enough. The costumes, we thought we were going to not wear costumes, and then we thought we were going to wear the show shirt, and then we planned all this with Kevin. So I think surprises, yeah.
Mina, why don't you tell us, what was it like when you learned that we were going to continue to perform the show? After we left campus, a few days passed before we met and made this decision. So how did you respond to that?
Well, this whole thing was like kind of a whirlwind because the part that I got, I didn't originally have, and then I got the part, and then we got an email that our school was closing, and then I went to rehearsal, and then we were like, Helen was like, Greg is thinking of something if our school doesn't open back up, but we're planning on doing it normally. And then the next day I went back to school and I got measured for a costume, and then we were told that we're never coming back to the school. So I was like freaking out this whole time. I was like, I don't know what's happening. I was really excited about getting my first main stage show. And then I was really hesitant at first because I didn't know that it would work this well. But like as we grew more and more and did more, it became transformed. It just became like such an emotional thing to watch everyone grow and everyone do this really great show.
How about you, Jackson? What did it mean to you when you found out that we were going to continue performing after leaving campus?
So to answer the question, there weren't really too many surprises after the initial, hey, we're not coming back to school and we're going to be doing this online. And there was a lot of ambiguity around everything. So I don't know, I think it's more of a testament to our resiliency as students and respective faculty members and theater practitioners as a whole.
This is from Mark. I'm curious to hear how the cast members are feeling emotionally right now that the show has persevered through quarantine. A few of you, how do you feel?
Yvonne, why don't you start? This is your senior, one of your our students with the senior project. So how do you feel right now?
I feel really relieved about this. I feel like I finally accomplished this. I finally created the capstone and cumulative experience of my career. Although it's not as optimal as we would have wanted, I would have liked to have stayed at school a bit. I'm glad that I could have finished my theater experience and that I get to finish my thesis for philosophy. So I'm really excited about the ending and what's going to be coming for me in the forward future.
Maddie, how about you?
For me, it was pretty devastating when I found out we weren't going to be performing the show live. It's my last show with UMW Theatre, and I love this department so much. And I was so excited about the design of the show because I love Roman holiday in the 50s and the whole concept that we went for. And like Mina, I was very skeptical when I found out we were going to be doing this via Zoom. But it just turned out to be such a wonderful creative outlet. And I'm getting choked up right now. And just working with everybody so that we didn't have to just say goodbye out of nowhere and never put this work up on its feet. Yeah, I'm just extremely proud of everybody, and I'm so thankful that we got to do this.
And Jess, why don't you take that as well?
Oh, I also, it's been very emotional. We were talking about surprises earlier, and a really big surprise for me is that we were doing this. When we were called to meet to talk about the show, I was sure that it would be a goodbye message, and instead I got 3 more weeks with these people who have turned into my family. So yeah.
Yeah, so I think on that we're going to wrap this up. To the entire company of Much Ado About Nothing, please give yourselves another round of applause. It's been a really extraordinary night for all of us, and thank you so much. For all of you watching this evening, thanks so much for being with us. We can't wait to have you back in Klein Theater. Everybody, please stay safe, healthy, and strong, and we'll see you soon. Good night, everyone.
Good night.